you will watch on this podcast.
The idea of moving from the state of stress and the state of whatever we were just working on to being fully present in the moment.
It's a matter of will. Will you do it? Will you make the action of disconnecting? And that's, I think, the hard part.
You do whatever you can do with any of the quadrants, and doing your best makes you feel good. If you don't take action nearly immediately, you lose track on what you were supposed to do.
Welcome back to this Wellness Billion podcast, my friends. Today we're welcoming Amy, that I'm gonna let Karim, my dad, introduce.
Hi guys, hi again. Well, today's guest is a true force of nature in wellness and also mindset. So please welcome Amy Ballantyne, and Amy is an accredited executive life coach, TEDx speaker like you, Yassine, and best-selling author, helping people break limiting beliefs, reduce stress, and build joyful and purpose-driven lives. I love that. So from leading to wellness webinar to top companies like, I believe it's Sun Life, isn't it? Ernst & Young, to writing books. You wrote several books that met good health and confidence funds for all ages. That's what I found out about you. Amy blends science, heart, and humor. You can see her smile like no other. She's a mom of 3 who walks the talk, and today she's here to share powerful tools about things that you will be able to use right now. And Amy, we're going to talk about your outstanding TEDx talk that you made several months ago that had a tremendous success, where you discuss how to achieve work-life harmony by shifting the way we think about balance and interrogating practical strategies to prioritize well-being. So guys, let's dive in. It's going to be very, very inspiring.
So Amy, what brought you into what you're doing today?
As this is a wellness podcast, I do want to start there. And I can tell you from a very young age, I have been passionate about wellness. And it stems from the fact that my mom actually lost, both of her parents passed away before she was 10. And this impacted me in a number of ways as a young person growing up. As you can imagine, that was quite a traumatic experience for her. As a very young child, would hear things like, your grandparents are not around. So, there was this underlying, why aren't these people in my life, right? Other people are spending time with their grandparents, and that wasn't a thing with my mom's parents. And I heard her say things like, well, they didn't take care of themselves. And this really resonated deeply with me. And I came to realize this more in my 20s and 30s, and made this connection that when I was a teenager, I made a decision, a very firm decision, that I wanted to do whatever I could to take care of my health so that I could live long. And I made this random choice that I wanted to be this rocking great grandmother who was bowling with her grandchildren and great grandchildren. Now, as a teenager, that's a pretty strange vision to have, as you can imagine. And why bowling? I'm not really sure why I chose bowling. But this idea of taking care of myself so that I am doing whatever I can, my part that I control, to be as healthy as I can, as long as I can. Now, we know with the study of epigenetics and many other things that how we take care of ourselves now impacts our cells and ourselves into our later years. And I'm so glad I made that decision back when I was a teen. Now, listen, I'm not perfect, right? So I've made some choices along the way. But the main thing is that I have a huge value of wellness. I partnered with one of the top nutrition companies 17 years ago to fuel my cells. I talk about the cells of my body a lot. And it really was the beginning of my journey into the coaching world. I started as a wellness coach. I now coach more from the perspective of executive and life coaching, but not to diminish the importance of wellness, but more to open up the doors to discussions with people who have even more impact with more people in their lives. So when I speak to a leader in an organization, and they recognize that they aren't a silo, right? They are not just their work. They are also their personal life and their wellness and all those things. When we talk about their whole life and their wellness, the changes that they make and the mindset shifts that they make ripple effects out to their entire team, their organization, when they up level their own wellness, their own mindset, their own life balance, and so on. This is a ripple effect. And so I love working with individuals in all stages, but I especially have come to love working with these professionals whose impact, their reach, is even greater, because then I know when we make that change, we're spreading this message even further.
That's amazing. That's awesome. You have a great story out there.
Thank you.
Really, really,
Yeah,
it's
and
really
wonderful.
powerful.
And it's the first time I hear one of our guests speaks that precisely about epigenetics, because their company is called Epi, by the way, because of epigenetics that builds
Yeah.
your genetic codes on a daily basis. This is why I was so happy to hear you speak about it, because you know what it is and you know what it does to your cells. So, Yassine, you invite Amy for reading the articles.
How you think about balance matters. Traditional views of balance, where work and life are equal in time, effort, and responsibility, are unrealistic. Instead, balance is about tapping into feeling of happiness, calm, and productivity, and integrating them harmoniously into your life.
Yes, guys, I want to tell you that this comes from her last TEDx, when she was so inhabited by what she's saying now. And Yassine and I have the honor to be able to lay out the three conclusions that the two of the three conclusions that she made out of this presentation. She just made the first one, so I'm going to make the second conclusion of her TEDx. The Eisenhower matrix. This time, management tool helps prioritize tasks by categorizing them into 4 quadrants. It emphasizes the personal wellness and activities that bring joy, like exercise, social time, or hobbies, should be prioritized in the not urgent but important quadrants, as they are essential for maintaining balance.
And finally, one point that I really struggle with, and I think a lot of people struggle, is the present moment focus. Focusing on the present moment and eliminating distractions like phones and notifications allows for a better mental state and improved balance in both work and personal life. And there's this quote that you stated that a monk mentioned, who sold his Ferrari. Have the discipline to focus your time around your priorities. The most meaningful things in your life, your family, your friends, your health, should never be sacrificed to those least meaningful. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Writing down those appointments with others and those important appointments with yourself. And that's something that everyone, and I mention everyone, struggles with.
And that brings a lot of questions, because this is a very profound TEDx that you did, Amy, and congratulations for that. And guys, we're going to put you the link of the podcast that we're talking about today, so that the link in the TEDx that you're going to see today, that you can enjoy really the three major points that Amy laid out. But we have the real Amy with us today live, so be around till the end, because it's going to be very important to hear. Amy, if we replace the word balance with a musical metaphoric harmony or rhythm, and I'll tell you why after I'm asking you this, how would you reshape how we approach well-being in a daily life?
Approach well-being. You know what? One of the things that I would say is I hear often people getting into the trap of all or nothing. My wellness has to be all perfect. Oh, and there's that perfectionism, people-pleasing problem, right? It has to be all and it has to be perfect. Otherwise, well, I might just throw in the towel, or have the entire box of cookies because I had one. So I would say the harmony approach is not looking at it from it has to be perfect. It has to be, even listen to my words, has to be, right? That's a trap in itself in the language. But looking at what are the things that you are doing well right now in your wellness? Because if I was to follow around each person, I bet I could find a number of things that they are already doing. The challenge that I see is that people diminish those things, they ignore recognition of those things, and when they go after different areas in their wellness, if it's not perfect or all the way, as they put these honestly tremendously unreal expectations on themselves, then they beat themselves up because they didn't do it all the way and they didn't do it perfectly. So instead, looking at wellness practices from the perspective of harmony, and less about the idea of balance or equal, right? I think that's the problem with the word balance, is we assume this idea of equal. But that was what I was aiming to shift in the TEDx, is that if we can shift to the idea of harmony where things integrate together. So how do we allow our wellness to integrate into the parts of our life? I talk about one idea with a lot of corporate companies, is this crazy idea of doing wall push-ups while you're at work, right? Like take 10 seconds between a meeting, get up and pump out. I'm physically doing push-ups here. Pump out 10 wall push-ups, and people just roll their eyes at me like I couldn't possibly do push-ups. And I'm saying, well, maybe don't do it from the floor if that's not where your body's at in this moment. And unless you have shoulder injuries or neck things, like many people could do some wall push-ups, and they're like, well, why would 10 even matter? The question to consider is, if you were to do that 10 push-ups for 100 days, that's 1,000 push-ups.
Yeah.
So would that matter? The point is that you're doing something for your wellness and you're integrating it. You're harmonizing it with the other parts of your life. So whether you decide to do wall push-ups or not, the point is that you're looking for ways to bring wellness practices into the moments. So it's not about, oh, I couldn't fit it in. How can you fit these small moments in that over time, the consistency makes a big difference?
Well, if we knew that is doing 100 push-ups per day in the morning, 6 o'clock. I know you because I follow you on your routine. Can you tell us about what you just heard and how you practice your how you see your harmony yourself?
So I have this strong belief that people just need to learn. They need education and they need habit, because this rule of like all of nothing, like you said, Amy. Everyone says, oh no, there's no more all or nothing. But when they start something, they're like, okay, I'm going to go all in. And then after 2 or 3 days, they just throw the towel and they're like, nah, that's it. That's not for me. I'm going to start on Monday. And now we're just talking, for example, about wellness, fitness, or whatever. But this applies to every aspect of our life. For example, when you will launch a new business and you have this idea in mind, you start working on it the whole night. Wow, I'm going to make it happen. 2 days later, it's like, no, this thing is not for me. You see what I mean? And they don't keep themselves consistent because they had 1 day of bad mood or something like this, and they just throw the towel and be like, okay, I'm going to redo everything later and let's see. So the importance of balance here is 100%. Balance is the key. There is no such thing as being perfect. We are humans. We need to balance between things, because some stuff are good for our body, but some stuff are good for our mind as well. And the combination of both can't be perfect. To be perfect, you need to have balance. And at the end, it's not perfect, but it's balanced. So I'm a strong believer of this. But people need to understand and need to learn about it. They need to practice it. It's hard. It's really hard, to be honest. It's not an easy thing to do. Balance, it's not easy. But with time, like you said, you gave the example of 10 push-ups a day for 100 days. With time, you're going to achieve it. You're going to make it happen. And at the end, you're going to look back 100 days back and you're going to be like, oh, I started 100 days. I kept on doing the exact same thing with balance because it's not too much. I reached my goal. That's amazing.
I have a view that is based on the experience I had during my quests for making an 120 be the new 60, which is the quest of our company. So I went to Sicily and I looked at those villages of centenarians and how they practice their balance. Because at the end of the way, when you look at them, they drink wine, they just have fun, they're always occupied and active, they do things like hell, they laugh a lot. So all of them, like thousands of them, have more than 100. So you said to yourself, okay, if Amy, Yassine, Karim, and all the teams that we have around us look at how to bring wellness, we have to look at those people and see what they do, so to take lessons out of it, and maybe we can use it one way or another. And it's exactly that, Amy, what you just said, and also you, Yassine. Balance is in accepting the fact that we cannot balance perfectly anything. So I would say balance is accepting unbalance, but in a holistic way, meaning that at EP, for instance, what we found out is that we lead people to have decent physiological life, like state that is tracked by sensors, decent psychological spirit that we also track by sensors. A very important of the 4 quadrants we have is having a purpose. Whether you are CEO of one of the biggest company in the world, whether you're just home trying to do things on your own and selling them, or not, just doing it for pleasure. And the 4th quadrant, which is for me one of the most important with the 3rd purpose, is the social, being social with people, interacting, being human to human in this AI era, which I belong to because I'm a deep tech entrepreneur. So it brings you down to very, very strong realities that you have to adopt in the way that you're aware of them, but you don't divide them in 4 because they're 4. You don't do 25, 25, 25, 25. You do whatever you can do with any of the quadrants, and doing your best makes you feel good.
Yes.
So Amy, another question I have for you. You coach high-performing leaders and your mom alike, and how do you help them shift from being time obsessed, like we all are, to presence focused in a world built of all those distractions that Yassine was talking about?
Well, the first part of shifting to present focus is the desire to change. So, any change requires a desire and willingness for things to be different, right? So the individual has to really want things to be different, and it has to be, why am I saying these words? The individual must have desire and willingness, and must follow the steps associated with making the change, any change, right? Any of our changes, we're talking about wellness, whether it's present moment focus. And so once I've figured out, do they have the desire and willingness for that idea of present moment focus, we work on things like stopping between meetings to take a couple of breaths, for example. And again, it's about creating small habits, as Yassine was talking about, these small habits that they then commit to and that build up over time to notice how it can make a big difference. So I have one strategy that I teach for present moment focus is either to rub your fingertips together so that you can feel the ridges of your fingerprint, to press your toes into the floor, breathing. If you've ever heard of heart math breathing, I'm a really big fan of that. Using these different strategies to bring themselves back into the now. There's another really great technique for mindfulness where you look for 5 things you feel. So not just feelings inside, but feelings of your clothes. I feel my shirt, or I feel the chair. The idea of moving from the state of stress and the state of whatever we were just working on to being fully present in the moment. What are 2 things you smell right now? It causes you to take a breath through your nostrils, right? And for you to tap into things that you may not have been aware of, but it's using your senses to bring you back into present focus. So this technique can be used for anyone, whether you're a high-level professional or not, but it's about building these strategies into their day. And like anything else in our lives, we learn things constantly. We're in this age of education and knowledge, right? It's about putting strategies in place to help us remember that this is a strategy we actually want to do. Right? It's all good and well for people to listen to our podcast, but if you don't actually make a strategy to help you follow through on the great things that you're learning, it's just going in one ear and out the other. So
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the sticky note. Maybe I should invest in the sticky note company, but I'm a big fan of the sticky note. I mean, I've got my own sticky notes around, I'm a big fan, if you were around my office, of positive cues. Thankful you can't quite see behind me, but I'm a big fan of cues that remind me about what is the priority for my thinking, which impacts how I feel, which impacts the actions I take and the results I get.
Yeah, Yassine, what do you do? Like Amy showed us her routine and her trigger, the trigger she has to get into the now, I would say. What do you do?
Unfortunately, I don't do it enough, but my way of leaving the present moment is either going surfing or going to the beach and have just a walk at the beach, which is the best thing ever. But I don't do it enough because I'm trapped into this work spiral thing, and just not thinking, not actually enjoying the moment. The only time where I really enjoy the moment actually is the month of August, when I travel to Bali, and I just spend 1 month there and really leave every single day the moment, the real moment. But whenever I'm back home, I get right into it and I forget whatever happened. And this is a problem that I have that I might need fixing.
Are you open to a suggestion?
I'm definitely open. Yes, please give me one.
So one thing that might
Free
be a
coaching,
place to
guys.
start. I know. I'm like on the edge of my seat. Can I? One thing that might be a place to start is finding a picture of you surfing, and even maybe bringing some sand home, and having a place where you could touch the sand. Like, even if you could put your fingers in the sand and reflect, see the image of yourself surfing, and for a moment breathe in those feelings, put yourself back into the state, actually feel the feelings of the water, feel the feelings of the warm air, the sun, the breeze, feel it, smell it, right? The salt water, like all of those bits, feel all of that, bring that back up in your mind, and notice the positive feelings that you feel when you actually tap into that.
Amy, the feeling that you just gave me, I'm going to finish the podcast right now. I'm going to go right into the beach.
And I'm going to do push-ups, by the way. I'm the push-up guy.
It's really thank you so much for this tip, which actually makes me, while you were talking about it, I was doing the same thing that you were telling, and you actually can feel it. Like, even though you're not touching or sensing or whatever, but you just going through your mind and digging deep into your memory, you can actually feel the thing.
Bring it up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about you, Karen? What do you do? Because I know that you're I'm like I am because of you. So what do you do?
Well, I think you were improved, and every father wants his son or daughter to be even better than him. So I think you're getting to be much better than I am. So proud about it. I'm not telling you because
Thank
you have 2.7 million followers, my friend. I'm just telling you. I see you working the way you work and see your mentality and see how people love you wherever you go out on the streets. I see how clean your content is, and for me, is the most important one. For mom also, it's a very important matter because it all comes from education. So this is one of my things. I'm practicing meditation uh, as a CEO. I try to do nearly both of what you're saying, guys. First of all, I handle my day and I think about what I did well on my day in the first time of breathing before I sleep. Then I do the opposite, Amy, which is I try to get into my pineal gland. So I imagine my pineal gland behind my pituitary tumor because I had a pituitary because I had a pituitary tumor 30 years ago, and I try to not think anymore about nothing. So make a total silence and unthink whatever I could think. So make a void in my mind so there is nothing. So I try to think about not thinking. And it's not easy to do because in the first part of the session, you think about all what you did probably well and where you're going and when you're heading, how your day was fruitful, and only the positive side of it, by the way. But then you empty your mind. And uh, you were talking about sticky notes. I'm a deep tech guy for over 30 years, so I think about you made me think about a kind of wellness planners and calendars that will integrate AI that tracks your energy zones, not just time. They would then suggest you the best moments for meditation, movement, or also like you showed Yassine to do, creative moments. It could be creative work, it could be whatever, it could be push-ups also. But what you suggested to Yassine to do is go into creative way of reimagining scenes that he was living in the best of his bubble zone.
Definitely. Now I'm super excited to go to the beach.
And I'm reminded about the nothing of meditation. I absolutely agree with that, and I do that practice also. Love that.
It's not easy, huh, Amy?
Oh,
I don't achieve it nearly 70% of the time. Do you?
I would say I go in this state of um, nothing, and then thoughts pop in, and I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And then I focus actually. What I like to use as a tool is I have my meditation area over here. I sit facing where light will come towards me, and I focus on the colors that show up behind my eyelids. So I have something to focus on, but it's not thoughts.
It's
Crazy, right?
interesting because it's a way to empty the space
Yeah.
of your brain by doing this. And I will try it tonight. I
Hmm.
tried tonight. Good trip.
Yeah.
I think also in my position of being biased by tech, I think that one of my part of my the scientists that work in our team, and especially my co-founder, he actually works on the like I would say to align it with you, Amy. I would say the future of balance that would be neuro aligned. So that
Yes.
would be a customized routine based on brainwave tracking
Cool.
that show you when you're the most calm, the most productive, or the most overstimulated. So
Yes.
you can optimize life accordingly. Like we said, there's balance in unbalance.
Hmm.
So this could be also, I think, those new sensors will help us a lot realize, be conscious about what's going on and do something about it. Like you were talking about push-ups. I mean, if you have a way to know that you need those push-ups right now, or if you have provisions to an explicable AI, I'm not talking about generative AI, they're not my very good friends, you know that something will happen to you in that zone of your body or your mind, then you will do it.
Yeah, bringing more consciousness. Very
Bring
cool.
up more consciousness and nudge. Nudge.
Yes, and then yeah, so you go take the action. I mean, we know that it's fine to become conscious of this is the time to do the meditation, or this is the time to go have the smoothie or go to the beach or whatever. But if you don't take the action, you're not going to get the
Exactly.
results.
It,
Absolutely.
that's something that actually happened to me this morning. It's funny because I was supposed to go surfing this morning with a friend early in the morning, like 7, 8, and my mind was like, I can't because I have work at 9. And then I was like, yeah, but I can because I can just wake up early and just go. But just by thinking about it, I was like super happy. But then the action didn't follow because at the end I didn't. And at the end it's a matter of will. Will you do it? Will you make the action of disconnecting? And that's, I think, the hard part, because thinking about it, a lot of people are thinking about meditation, a lot of people are thinking about the present moment, a lot of people know that they're always connected and always thinking about what's going to happen next, and or what happened before, but never what is happening now. And people know about it, but are they really taking action? Not really.
Well, but Amy, last coaching tip. How would you suggest Yassine, and you were at his place, that he would do at this moment that he decided to go surfing and he didn't?
Mm. So, I mean, the idea that popped in my head right in that moment is one of my favorite Mel Robbins strategy of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and jump out of the bed, right? So give yourself a command that you can take action immediately on the thoughts that you are aligned with, not always just the thoughts that you were thinking, right? Because some of the thoughts are not aligned. But when you felt the thought was, I want to go surfing, it gives you positive feelings. What can help move you in the direction of the goal that you actually want to be in? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off out of the bed and on your way is one tactic that I absolutely practice and encourage for others. But the other thing would be, does your calendar reflect the things that you say are important to you? And are there strategies built in to help you take action? So did you set the alarm that allows you to get up earlier because you thought about surfing was supposed to happen today? Would I have seen that in your calendar? Was there a reminder? I don't know. Do you wear a thing that buzzes to tell you to get up? Or, there are strategies that help us take action towards the life that we want.
That's awesome. That's the way it has to be, actually. Now it's just about the will. Are you willing to do
Yes.
it? And you said it. You talked about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule, which I apply actually myself, and I teach it as well to my community, which is like the main problem of people is waking up early. I always tell them, whenever the alarm turns off, meaning like they start ringing, you have 3 seconds to turn it off and stand up. If you don't do that, you're gonna go back to bed. If you press the snooze button, my friend, you're out. You're never gonna wake up early in the morning. And that's exactly why I do this. Like now, it's like as soon as I have the alarm, my alarm is ringing, I turn it off. I stand up. I know that whenever I stand up and I go out of my bedroom, I can start my day.
Yeah, you know that practice, Yassine, you're talking about in terms of business, you can apply it all day long as your schedule is meant to let you do that. Like when you're meeting with your team, or when I'm meeting with my team, for instance, and we speak about somebody that we needed to contact, I immediately take my phone and I say, let's call him. And I call him right away. Because if I know if I don't call him right away, I'm going to forget about him, or not being as motivated to solve the problems for the greater group that we are, and as it is my responsibility. And I think it's the same of what you're explaining when you wake up in the morning, and Amy was talking about it. If you don't take action nearly immediately, you lose track on what you were supposed to do.
Definitely. Definitely. Exactly. That's an amazing way to be able to finish this podcast, because we had so much information, valuable information. Amy, thank you so much for your time. Please let us know and let the community know where we can find you on social media.
Yes, please.
Where can we find you?
Yeah, please connect with me on Instagram. It's at Amy Ballantyne. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook. There's TikTok, all the places, but Instagram and LinkedIn are where I'm most active.
Amazing.
We
We'll
will put your links in the bio.
Thank you.
exactly.
Or in the on the podcast, so that we're having the podcast will be on YouTube and Yassine also on the Apple platform and the Spotify platform, right?
Exactly. That's
Okay.
amazing. That's amazing. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. It was filled with amazing information. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yes. See you soon, guys. Bye bye.